Hi folks, welcome back. Today we're going to get into some GPS testing and acquisition. We have some decent weather today. It's 47 degrees outside with very little cloud cover. So we should be able to get GPS signal fairly quickly. I did find in my last video I said to add a new unit if you already have a group set up. For instance, these 4 units were all paired in a group, that if you wanted to add another unit, you'd have to set them all back to factory default. That is not the case. In this case, we named this guy test and went to pairing in the submenus for all of these groups, increased number from 4 to 5, and did the same with this guy in pairing, and all these units were able to successfully pair without having to reset any of these other units back to a default setting. So I'll create a separate video for that. And right now we're just going to go ahead. You can see everybody's in standby mode. We'll go outside, take them out of standby mode, see how long they take to acquire GPS, and then for adding something to a new group where you already have everything paired with one that is not, I'll create a separate video for that. So let's go ahead and get started with some outdoor time. Okay, as promised, you can hear the jets in the background. I'm not too far from Dulles. We're going to go ahead and put these into a non-standby mode, and I found that folks are talking about how there's a difference. So some of the links, when they will show a direction, it's 90 degrees off, right? So what I think is happening is on the initial GPS acquisition, maybe if these things are oriented differently, it's causing them, since this is a sensitive accelerometer in there, maybe that's causing some of those issues with things being 90 degrees off. I don't know. I'm going to kind of zoom in here a little bit. You can see I've got the battery life down to about 53% in most cases. It's pretty consistent across the board, except for this blue one. I haven't used it too much. But this is going on day number 4 of using them to do tracking, testing, and this is also keeping them in standby mode, not being plugged in. So again, this is day 4 from the time that we actually took these things off the charger. I'm just going to do a quick check to see how far we are. Okay, so looks like we have some strange values here. You can see initially that it shows all these bizarre 0.38 miles, etc. And that seems to be consistent for everybody. It looks like maybe things are getting back to normal. We'll let them sit for a minute or two. We'll put these all back onto a home. This is a fixed GPS coordinate. I brought them out in the yard, put them on a home location. Still see some discrepancies. I agree that these things are not very consistent as far as the level of accuracy is concerned. For instance, nearby home, I should be home, but I still have one that shows 36 feet, 39 feet, varying back and forth. So again, maybe it's GPS acquisition, maybe it's something else. We'll let it sit until it seems like it's a little bit happier. Now I have noticed that this guy has a little bit more trouble acquiring GPS. It takes a little bit longer. I have to let it sit outside. So I'm going to try and not disturb these as much as possible, and then we'll come back and do some testing. I'll move one of these out into a general area. You can see I'm pretty well wide open, but I've got enough space to where we can move these around, at least get some idea of the level of accuracy. All right, be right back.